Hello guys, and in today's video on the Mermaid Files we are just going to be watching a got a couple of videos that I found online of people that have had mermaid encounters, real mermaid encounters. Not talking about sailors from 1862, I'm talking about people having experiences in a beach in 2015 type things, alright?
For real? I seen a mermaid.
Oh, I'm going to this store. We eat this whole story the other day. See, our music touch everybody.
Listen, right? Listen, I'm gonna tell you this story. Cause I'm from Haiti.
Now, mind you,
you know
you left Haiti when you were 7 years old, right?
No, I didn't leave when I was.
Okay, how old?
I was 8.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. 8. Okay, so when you're 8 years old, like you remember things. Like I remember my grandmother's house being 20 times bigger than it was. But go ahead, Melissa.
We was in the backyard. And then where we lived, they had the beach, you know what I'm saying, in the back. And then I was just sitting, because I was always a kid that was just weird, So I was just to myself in the back, just kicking up. And then I seen this lady, and then I just seen the face, so I thought it was somebody, like, in the water, like, like swimming. Yeah. And she was like, hey, little boy.
No, hey, little fella. That's what she said.
No, but I'm saying boy, fella, it's the same thing. Don't play me.
That's just, I'm just
she
trying to get
said it in Creole.
I'm just trying to get a word for word.
If I said in Creole, y'all ain't gonna understand. Right, so she didn't say hey, little
she was
fella.
A Haitian.
Lauren, can you just shut the F up? Now, I love Lauren Hill, but I have never wanted somebody to just have their lips sewn shut so much in one clip as this one. Let the man tell a story. Let the man tell the story. You can tell that he was very serious about what he was saying. He was getting quite irritated. So I'm kind of leaning on the side of that he was telling the truth about his experience. Like, Lauren, girl, you love your songs, but shut the fuck up.
Somebody told me not to mention mermaids.
Don't mention mermaids?
I saw a mermaid.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
In Seychelles, Africa.
You saw an actual mermaid?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a swimming person.
Really?
Yep. And
how long ago was this?
I don't know. Ask Will Sylvans. It was
You think there's a small population of mermaids that are out there?
But anyway, me and this little French boy, and they said don't swim in the lagoon after dark. Everybody's up at the bar, and so everybody's gonna go down. Everybody's kind of racing now. So me and him go down. Me and him get in the water. From a distance, you see something coming like a fucking missile, but it's going it's coming fast, and we both kind of stop. And then it turns and it jumps out of the water, and it's maybe at least 10, 12 feet long, man. And it do like this, and it look at both of us and go, whoo. The water was only about this deep. Didn't make a splash or nothing. And then me and him turn the fuck around. We running, and everybody's coming down there laughing, got their drinks in their hand. We're like, no, fuck that. And the little boy in French, and his mom is apologizing to me, saying he has a very vivid imagination. He said, no, bitch, listen. We saw a fish man, and it wasn't like a mermaid. Didn't look feminine at all.
Like a man.
A fucking man.
Really?
A fucking dude who said, get the fuck out the pool. Basically, he was like, do you know Aquaman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did it look
he
like
didn't go, hey, get out the water.
Did it look like a fish person, or did it look like a human being?
Came out.
Did it have scales?
It was kind of dark.
Dark like a dolphin?
No, but he had, the back of him was fish. The back of him was fish. His head was humanoid, eyes about so big. Then, if you Google it, the lagoons of Seychelles.
Okay.
And I ain't the first person to see some shit.
Really?
In them waters. And the guy who does the horseback riding, you can ride horses. And he said, how old are you? And I told him, he says, you're from America, right? I'm like, yeah. He says, so at this age, pretty much if you see a turtle, and I tell you that's not a turtle, he says, you know it's a turtle. You're the age, you know what you saw.
Right.
He says, people pay a lot of money at this resort. He says, yeah, it's maybe not a good idea to go around going, I saw a mermaid. And he goes, he's saying how long his family has been fishing in these waters. He says, and he's heard some things. He says, I've heard some things like what you say. I've never seen what you say you saw. but it's not the first time I heard that. And I said, thank you.
So now we've even got celebrities seeing mermaids. Celebrities seeing mermaids. The guy in the video is called Tony Wood, and he is a comedian. I think it was said that he was like the mentor to Dave Chappelle, etc., etc. He was went on Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't even know what the discussion was because I literally didn't see I never saw the actual episode. But we got to the part where here he was, straight up 100%, being deadly serious, and he's like, he saw a mermaid when he was a young boy in Seychelles. And I'm like, really? So he goes on to describe what you heard in the video, that he was young, he was in the Seychelles, he was in like the lagoon with like there was another French boy that he was like probably like playing with, and they were in the water, and they both saw this, as he describes, I think he's how long it was, 8 feet, 12 feet or something like that, kind of come up out of the water, humanoid shape, long fish-like tail, very long, and sort of did a typical, I'll see if I can insert a picture of what I'm seeing, sort of like diving pose up out of the waves and into the water. And he said that it was literally like, it was humanoid. He said it was, I remember he said it was dark, I guess in the big eyes, but he says he saw that, and my dude is standing on business. What do you think? Do you think it's true? Do you think he's lying? Do you think he has an overactive imagination? Do you think he had an overactive imagination as a kid? Or that he's just remembering it wrong? What do you think? I love mermaid encounters. I love reading encounters of people that have had like sort of, they say that they've had encounters with sort of like aquatic beings, whether that be a mer with a tail, or whether it be some sort of like amphibious aquatic being with like legs, you know, sort of think more like creature from the Black Lagoon type thing, like an aquatic amphibian. So many people have had these experiences that I cannot help personally but feel that there is truth to a lot of it. So a lot of people, when you read about these like kind of mer encounters, whether it be from like now, whether it be from like last decade, or whether it be from like 2 centuries ago, like as by like the sailors that said that they saw things in the water, etc., there's like this, obviously, like people are like, well, actually there's logical explanations. They were sighting manatees or dugongs, which are these sort of seal-like creatures, even seals, these sort of seal-like creatures, where they're sort of mistaking the kind of like the fin or the sort of like the tail, etc., for mer people. And I'm like, yeah, I believe that that's like, some people can have that situation and they kind of mistake it, but there are encounters out there like this where it's like, no, that can't have been a dugong or a manatee. In Tony Wood's situation, like, I would be pretty sure that if I saw what he said, this sort of like 12-foot long humanoid with a long fish tail and a very human face, that's not something that I could even remotely mistake for dugong. Not even on my tiredest night, not even on the blackest night with no moon in the sky, alright, not even on if I was to be on psychedelics or whatnot. I don't think, maybe I would probably see something if I was on psychedelics. I'm just imagining. I'm not saying that I have been on psychedelics. Well, I'm saying I can imagine you probably would see something. So scratch psychedelics. Yeah, you probably would see something cray-cray like that. But that's not, you can't say that what he saw was a dugong. That kind of doesn't fit the bill, guys. It's not cutting the mustard with me. I'm literally finding that more ridiculous than actually what he said, if somebody was to say that, because my good friend, kind sir, ma'am, I know the difference between these things. That's how I would be feeling. So what did he see? Seychelles. But what do you think of Tony Wood's encounter? This is one that's done the rounds on TikTok, but nevertheless it's still a good one, because I said he's like a celebrity in that sense. Like, you know, he's in the public eye, at least we can call him that. Like, this isn't, don't come in here saying like he's not really a celebrity, like whatever, man, you know what I'm trying to say. This is like, it's in public eye, so he's not really got anything to gain from saying this. Got a lot more to lose. This is not somebody trying to get clout and, you know, increase their social media visibility. Like, I don't think that's the case. You know, it seems like somebody who would want to be taken seriously and not ridiculed. So the fact that he actually chose to mention this, that's worth taking that into account, that there could be something definitely going on there.
But guys, what do you think? I would love to know. Let me know.
There's a place right to the side of the Sugarman estate that's all fenced off. They've got signs saying you can't go in here. Me and Wayne Dyer were looking at it, and I says, I wonder why they don't let people go in there. And we were out on the grass looking out at the whales jumping, and out of the water came this huge mermaid. Must have been 12, 14 feet tall. And it's definitely a mermaid, because when it came up, looked at us, and Wayne Dyer was there with me. So were a bunch of other people. They all saw it. It looked at us, and it kind of grimaced at us, and then dove down in the water, and you could see its tail come up. And I was like, holy cow, we just saw a mermaid. And came to find out there's mermaids, and they've got a deal with the Hawaiian government that nobody can go in that area. They don't even let boats go.
Now, the reason why I also chose this video is because when I heard the story, I was like, in fact, the girl that posted this video, she clocked the same thing I clocked. Because when I heard it, I was like, why does that sound like the encounter that Tony Woods had on the Joe Rogan show?
And it jumps out of the water. And it's maybe at least 10, 12 feet long, man. And it
out of the water came this huge mermaid. Must have been 12, 14 feet tall. And it's definitely a mermaid, because when it came up, looked at us, and Wayne Dyer was there with me. So were a bunch of other people. They all saw it. It looked at us, and it kind of grimaced at us, and then dove down in the water, and you could see its tail come up.
we saw a fish man, and it wasn't like a mermaid. Didn't look feminine at all.
Look
like
a man.
A fucking man.
Really?
A fucking dude who said, "Get the fuck out the pool." Basically, he was like, do you know Aquaman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he
did it look
didn't
like
go,
a
hey,
fish
get out
person?
the water.
Did it look like a fish person, or did it look like a human being?
And this is the exact description this guy gave. The 10 to 12 foot long mermaid, 'cause that's massive. Most people don't say those sorts of things, and I just clocked the pattern. Better is when you see stories that follow a pattern. People having encounters. Completely different people, different lives, different sides of the world in a way. And they're seeing the same type being, right? If we think about mermaids, we think about other things. They'll be like, oh my God, somebody might say, yeah, they were like, they had webbed hands, and, you know, they had a tail, or they didn't have a tail, or whatever. You know, there's very like regular stuff that we see. But these two encounters are they're like outliers, because the size of this is like quite mammoth when it comes to what we're thinking about. And therefore it makes it kind of something that's not necessarily resting in public conscious mind. It's not the first thing you would think of if you're making up, for instance, a mermaid. You wouldn't think it's 10 foot long. You probably won't even talk about the size to a degree. You'd be more focused on maybe there were teeth or there were webbed hands. So this stands out as something worth recognizing in the pattern. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know.
Now, this next account, a tragedy at sea led to an encounter more terrifying than the waves themselves. When divers tried to recover drowned children, something screamed from the depths, a colorful human-faced creature that snatched the dead and vanished. Now, the witness tells me the strange underworld and possibly evil mermaids are very much real. Having witnessed them once in my life, I can definitely testify to their existence. But they're not the pretty women that you often see portrayed. I live here in the Caribbean on the islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Back on January 12, 2015, a vehicle carrying school children had lost control while going down a steep hill and plunged into the sea. 8 children died, 6 of whom had recovered. When we, the villagers, got to the scene, the bodies of the young people were floating on the water. We put on our diving gear and jumped in to recover the bodies. 2 other men and I were trying to grab the body of one of the girls who was my cousin. When one of the men got close enough to make a grab, an entity appeared out of nowhere, screaming angrily, yes, screaming, and snarling, saying, "Don't touch her, or else you'll see what will happen."
Okay, so I wanted this to be an all kind of like video clip video, but this particular video I'm jumping in here because there actually was more to the story on the website version. So Lon made some shorts from this story, so it didn't contain the whole story, and I'm like, I've been living here in the Caribbean on the island of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and back in 2015, on the 12th of January, a vehicle carrying school children lost control going down a steep hill and plunged into the sea. 8 children were killed, 6 of which were recovered. When we the villagers got to the scene, the young people's bodies were floating in the water. We put on our diving gear and jumped in to recover the bodies. 2 other men and I were trying to grab the body of one of the girls, who actually was my cousin. When one of the men got close enough to make a grab, there came this entity out of nowhere, screaming angrily, yes, screaming, snarling and saying, "Don't touch her or else you'll see what would happen." This thing was pure evil. Its face was human. It had a Nigerian accent. Oh my god, okay. Its body was colourful and we were terribly scared. The creature immediately grabbed the girl's body and took off at an amazing speed and then just disappeared. There were about 15 divers in the water. When we got back to the shore, we couldn't speak for over 2 hours. Such was the shock. Scared beyond imagination. When we told the people what happened, they said some of the other divers said they saw the same thing. The elders in the community began to tell us strange stories about the same creatures from long ago, way before electricity came to our village. They said the young people were a sacrifice. From that day, I never looked at the ocean the same way again. I wish we had evidence to show what we saw. Waterproof phones and cameras weren't popular back here back in 2015, unfortunately. And to this day, the other divers still talk about it. I've stopped diving since it happened. We've been called all kinds of names, but I know what I saw. And what I heard the creature say. I know what I saw and what I heard that creature say. Since then, I've been researching shapeshifters and stuff like that on the internet, and a lot of things about that have been leading me to Africa. Also, I've taken an interest in Nigerian movies, where they show a lot of stuff about said topics. I know the frustration about not having evidence to support our claims. Up to this day, we still haven't found those two girls' bodies, and the Coast Guard searched for almost a month. We searched the rocky beaches for miles for weeks. And about a year ago, I and a couple of friends went night fishing. When we got to the beach in our area, we heard a noise, almost like someone or something wailing in the water just offshore. It frightened us. For almost a minute or two, we just stood there and couldn't move or say anything. Our water is rocky and shallow. When I got home, I was scrolling through Facebook when I saw a video that a guy had posted somewhere on a fishing vessel experiencing the same sound. He was then visited by the CIA or something about that for the video. And then the guy Lon, who was in the video, said that there have been many accounts of water sprite sightings in the rivers of Nigeria. Worldwide reports of mermaids do closely mimic what the Nigerian witnesses have stated for many years. So that's the story, and I only just realised what he was talking about actually, because I was like, what guy online? Then I realised he's talking about, for those that don't know, there's a TikToker out there, and he went by the name, I think it was Sauce 90, and I think it gets like sauces in like ketchup sauce, not like sauce light, like that kind of thing. And he's a guy that works on a fishing boat, and he would take videos, and the videos went viral, and in them he's claiming that there are mermaids or sirens that can be seen and heard. So you hear this sort of like kind of like ghostly singing type situation, and you also hear him say, or they say that you hear somebody go, "Jump for me," as in like jump off the boat, like luring them into the water. So I'm imagining there's some bits where they show like what looks like something swimming very fast, and there's a bit where I think he throws a crab off of the boat and then the crab is thrown back on or something.
Hear them? They're singing. I fucking love my job, I swear. It's 90, and we just out here. We're chilling. We're out here I hear it. I hear him. Where's she at? What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise?
Sauce 9, you know what it is, man. Just finished another fishing trip. Whole fishing trip. Heard no noises whatsoever. Until we got into unload. Peep this video. Crazy. At the docks though? Hey yo, you hear that? I know what the fuck that is. I know what the fuck that is. That bitch followed me the fuck in. Oh, at the docks though? No way. No way. I'ma find your ass. You watch. Krabs? Huh, Mr. Krabs? Tell him, Mr. Krabs. Actually, you know what, homie? I'm gonna throw you back in your ocean. Because we're not catching you. Be free. Be free, homie. Sometimes you gotta let him free, you know? Sometimes you just gotta let him roam free. Let's just walk right back. Let's see if we can find... Oh! Yo! Oh, hell no! Wait, no! No fucking way! Wait, I just threw this overboard. Y'all saw me throw it overboard. This... Are you fucking kidding me? That did not just... Source 90. The government is legit here. Peep game, let's be sneaky. That was full of water. My pants are wet. Cut! Source 90. Dry pants now. Let's check out these motherfuckers. You're gonna be out here doing testing. Testing what? What the fuck are you guys testing? That's what I wanna know. We all know Source 90 has heard certain things out in the ocean, and then my TikTok gets banned, and then the government shows up my boat. It's too many fucking coincidences.
Interesting choice of t-shirt. I note, slave of the sea. You gotta let him roam free, you know what I mean? Isn't that what he says when he's throwing the crab? You gotta let him roam free. What, let what roam free? The slaves of the sea? It makes you wonder, conspiracy theory minded, I would wonder whether something is being put in my face in plain sight. Slave of the sea. If you could see my face right now. But they do say that, you know, you are told the truth, whether you see which aspect is truth versus the big song and dance show remains to be seen. Wouldn't it be interesting? Everybody's so busy thinking about, listen to the mermaids, listen to the sirens, that they're not paying attention to what's being said or put in their face, in a bit of a riddle, so to speak. What do you think? What do you think? We're just having fun.
So that's the story, and then there was a video, I think, at the end where it was either it was alluded to, I can't remember, or people were like, oh my god, he got arrested, he's been taken off the grid because he's showing too much, and the government trying to keep a lid on it, etc. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think that's bollocks. I'm not gonna lie. Who am I to say that? I don't know, but I don't believe the video. I don't really believe that his videos are 100%. But the noise, the sound is interesting. I found the sound haunting. I'm still not 100% convinced, to be honest, that what he was saying was real, but it is quite intriguing about the sound, especially if this guy's telling the truth and he's saying that he heard something similar. And I must say myself, like, I know I'm water coded, and I do really resonate with a lot of things that are connected to the water. And I'm also, among the things, I do have a clairaudience. And I remember one night I was thinking about something to do with that, mermaids, all things, etc. And I do remember hearing something that sounded like that. It was wild, but maybe there's something to that particularly. But as for the rest of his videos, I don't think so. But what do you think? I mean, what do you reckon? But that's a very interesting story. I cracked up when they said it was a Nigerian accent. I was like, whoa, Nigerian mermaids out here by the Grenadines. Like, guys, you are getting about... I could say that I'm African, but I'm from the East Coast. But that's hilarious, that one. But they, like they said, they may be onto something.
The best bits usually are in the comments of these videos, but this is getting a little bit long. So I'm going to post a second video where it's going to be literally just going through some of the comments about, you know, people's stories. Let's see what else is going on there. So join me.
Okay, this is Rosie from, you know, the Ghosts of Editing Future. And as I was editing this video, as I was uploading this video, I realised that there were some big glitches, and it only occurred around the sound of the air quotes siren song, which pissed me off no end, because I had to go back in and rejig everything around. But while that was happening, it was making me think, why? I'm a walk between the worlds, yeah. I'm a bridge. I'm a threshold guardian, amongst other things. I'm not. This isn't a brag. This is just fact. This is just how I am. And whenever something happens like that, it's making me look as it's pulling my scruff of my neck, going, Rosie, look, what's happening here? There's something there. Go on, go into it. So I started looking, and you'd hear that I started talking about the t-shirt that he was wearing, and that's the direction I want to go in. But I don't want to make this video long. It's already nearly 30 minutes, which is long. So I'm going to do a second standalone video explaining everything that happened. And I'm going to give my thoughts about what I think could possibly going on, or why it's worth looking at. So please check for after this video. I'm going to see if I can upload them both at the same time, so that at least when you get to the end of this one, you'll be like, wait, where's the other one? And it'll be there. If it's not, I promise it won't be longer than 24 hours behind it. I will put it up so that you can see it as a part 1 and part 2 almost, or like the epilogue at the end. So look out for that.